Everyone. Today we're going to dig into some of the most frequent questions both Brooke sees on the support side and what I see on the community side. So these are kind of our like top hits for questions that we see most often. The first one we're going to kind of look into is finding those charts that need to be finished. And sometimes you might be on your dashboard and see that there's a not started or drafted chart, and you're not quite sure where they are and where you need to put your signature. So Brooke's going to take it away now, and we're going to have a look at where those charts are.
All right, thanks, Jack. So here, so like Jack said, you have a dashboard, optional to view this, and you might notice this charts here. So we have some chart statuses here, and you might ask yourself, where are these 18 unstarted charts? Where are these 6 drafts? How do I find those? Well, the place to find those is going to be in your reports tab. So here we'll head to reports and then down to our appointments report. So this report, pretty handy. I can filter this for a staff member. I can filter it for a date range if I wanted to see, the appointments in the last month that I haven't charted for. And then this here, you'll see the chart status. So it's currently set to no chart, and these would be all of my appointments that do not have a chart started yet. We also have the option to filter this for draft, so I can see all of my draft charts as well.
Now, what would happen if you know you started a chart, but it's not popping up here
Mm.
in the report?
Yeah. So if you, from this report, so let's go back to our no chart, and I see somebody on here, I go to their file, and I see that I did in fact start a chart for them on that day. What you can do is, we don't actually have one for this practitioner that's not started, but what you can do is from the drop-down arrow, select the add appointment button that would be there. So let me just go ahead and add one here, and you'll have this add appointment, and you'll be able to then link the appointment to that chart entry. Now, you might ask yourself, how did
Yeah,
this
why does that
chart,
happen?
why did this chart not get linked to the appointment? Well, first off, we'll even be able to see here without the appointments report, which appointments are linked to, or sorry, which charts are linked to an appointment by this calendar icon. So this calendar icon means this chart entry is in fact linked to the appointment it was made for. So when charting, this is actually why we recommend charting from what we refer to as your practitioner daysheet. So when you start a chart from here, it automatically links it to their appointment. So here we'll go ahead and either duplicate or start a new chart entry, and it will automatically have that calendar icon on there. You'll have that open padlock. It's associated with this appointment. If you were to start a note by first just going to your client or patient tab, then going to their chart tab, and then adding in an appointment or a chart note, this here is when we do not get that calendar icon. It's not, this was that previous one. It's not going to be associated with the appointment that they were booked in for, because you just started by going to their patient file first.
Okay, so the takeaway for best practices, always start in your day sheet if you're going to be charting on that appointment.
You got it, yes.
Awesome. And then I guess I have a follow-up question because I've seen this in the community too, is what happens if you don't see a dashboard?
Mm,
Why isn't there a dashboard there? How do
yeah.
I get that to pop
Yeah,
up?
so the dashboard, this might depend on if you're in a multidisciplinary practice. The account owner or full access user might have to give you access to your dashboard. Or if you are an account owner, you may not have this enabled for yourself. So to enable your dashboard, you will head to your settings. And there is one of the options here, dashboard permissions. So for practitioner practices, you might need to enable or get this enabled for you, but you have the option to have it to include financial metrics or not include financial metrics. So if you are an account owner and you don't want maybe practitioners to see all of that financial information like we have here, you could have that hidden as well.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to move on to our next little question. And this is mostly for all the medical aesthetics practitioners, I think, is how do you get that medical director's signature on your chart?
Yeah, great question. Again, frequently asked. So when I'll go through the workflow of how to have your medical director to
Awesome.
sign off on this. So when I'm logged in here as my practitioner, Joellen, so when she starts a chart entry, so we can go ahead and actually maybe I'll duplicate. Actually, no, I'll duplicate one here. So when she either duplicates or starts a note, she is by default the author of this. So she can do the note, she can do everything she needs to do, but for her medical director to sign off on this, she is actually going to pass off this note to them by changing the author to them. If she needs to have a signature of her own in this note, in the template, we could have in here added a signature so that Joellen here can sign off on this. Oops.
So I guess this is kind of akin to being in practice and Joe Ellen's filled in her paper note and now she's just passing it to the
Mhm.
medical director to read over and sign off.
Exactly. So to actually pass this off, at the bottom of the note entry, you'll see the cogwheel, and we'll just change the author to our medical director. So in this case, let's just say it's our demo owner. And now we'll notice that at the top here, the name has changed to demo owner, and Joellen's not able to make any additional changes at this time. So she's not able to make any other adjustments to this. We'll notice here that the sign button is no longer there. And for her medical director to actually sign off on them, I'm just going to log in then as that provider. Where's our demo owner here? And the easiest way I find to find that note that needs to be signed is to head to our staff profile for this provider and head to our charts tab. So here I'll be able to see the charts that I need to sign off for. I believe it was this one here.
This is kind of the stack of paperwork for the medical
Mm-hmm.
director at the end of the day or week.
Yeah. So they can review what Joellen did, and I can see her signature that she had signed in here. And depends if I need her to maybe change anything, I could change the author back to her to make those changes. Or if I'm ready to sign this, I can just go ahead and sign this as well. You might want to add in another signature for yourself, but there is a timestamp for who's actually going to be signing this as well. So optional to add that additional one.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always better to like visualize this instead of explaining it. I never got this until I actually saw it in
Mm-hmm.
practice. So that's
Me
awesome.
too.
Okay, the next one, and I think this is a lot of people's favorite on the Jane team, is using adjustments to give reduced rates to clients. So maybe we can go into like how you use adjustments, how you
hmm
set it up, sliding scales,
hmm
adding or removing a fee for a client.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll first go through how to set up your adjustments. And so in your settings, we'll head down to our adjustments tab. And I'm going to set up maybe a sliding scale one, Jack, to go over that.
Sounds
So
good.
we'll go ahead and select the new adjustment button, and I'll just call this sliding scale. And when you set up your adjustments, you have three options on how you want to change the price of these. So the first option is whether you are just wanting to do a full price override. So for example, if my normal price is $100 and I want it to be 80, I would do a override adjustment and put $80 in here. Or I can do a percent discount. This is going to discount the percent by percentage. And then last is a dollar discount. So if I wanted to discount $15, I'd put in $15 there. For this, I might do maybe a dollar discount and we'll just say $15. And then we'll go ahead. Oh, were you going to
I
say
wasn't going to
something?
interrupt, but you know what? Maybe I will interrupt. Um, I guess the provider discount thing
Mm,
is also good to go over. Um,
yes.
as far as I understand it, is one is the clinic at large taking on that reduction in the rate and still paying their staff member the full amount for that
Hmm.
appointment, irrespective of any discounts. And
Hmm.
then the other is the clinic and the staff member
Hmm.
taking a little bit less for the discount they're giving. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. So this, if you have the discount to clinic and staff member, if you're running your compensation reports for your practitioners, they are going to be compensated with this checked on as the adjusted price. So whatever that discounted price is, their compensation is going to be based on that. If the clinic is going to take the discount and you're compensating your provider based on the full treatment price, we'll change that to clinic only.
Awesome.
Good question there, Jack.
Thank you so much.
And we'll just go ahead and create this adjustment now. All right, so now to use these for the sliding scale, I'll go through kind of what it looks like to change that on the fly. So let's say my appointment here, which one shall I use? Maybe I'll go to somebody else. So let's say my appointment today, Vivian, they have been arrived. It doesn't have to be arrived here. They already have one on there. We'll remove that. We'll remove that as well. So this treatment price looks like it is $60. So to add an adjustment, we'll just hover our mouse over this billing info and select the adjustment here. So I could either type in my adjustment, so that's sliding scale, but another Jane tip, pro tip here is if you just select your space bar, all of your adjustments that you've created are going to show here as well. So I can select that sliding scale. Now, this discount was set up to reduce it by $15, but maybe for Vivian, I want to actually give her a $20 discount, but I've already created this adjustment. I can change these on the fly. So with this already added, if I click on the name of that adjustment, I could change either the value. So if I wanted to change this to $20 off, I could do that. If I wanted to do 8%, if I wanted to change it through the compensating the staff member, I can make all of those adjustments here on the fly. I just have to go ahead and hit save. And now rather than a 15% $15 discount, she's getting a $20 discount.
Nice. And then I don't think a lot of people know this, but maybe you can show using a negative can actually add to it. So maybe it wouldn't be called sliding scale in your initial setup. It might be some other time of service fee that you might add to an appointment.
Yeah, so when you set up your adjustments, you can also use these to add money. So maybe I'll just use the same one just for an example, but let's say I want to charge her an additional $20. So in that case, I'm going to select or put a minus 20 in front. And then when we hit save, that changes the amount. The original price, remember, was $60, and now we are charging $80 instead.
So, and then there's another way to add like a global adjustment for individual clients. So they always get that kind of reduction when they come to see you. Can you quickly show us how you do that?
Yeah, definitely. So if we head to one of our clients here, so I'm just in our clients tab, and if I select one of them, every patient here, you have the option to add in a default adjustment. So here I can go ahead and hit add. And let's say this patient here is one of my friends. I can go ahead and add in our friends and family discount. Now, for every invoice that's generated for him, this discount will always be applied. A good thing to remember, though, is this will also be applied to all products, any sale that's going to be done, so not just their appointment. So if they're maybe not getting a discount on products, you'll have to remove that before you take payment for those products.
Awesome. And it's the same thing. You just click that X when you apply it in the
Exactly, yeah.
appointment column.
Yeah, either the appointments or another way, if you wanted to view, let's just go ahead and sell, oops, a product in their billing, is you can also view these too in their purchases. So if I hit view, I can see their adjustments and I could remove it from here as well.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Next area. We're going to have a little chat about reoccurring appointments and how you can book a lot at one time instead of individually picking dates in your schedule.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at that.
Yeah. Recurring appointments. I like them. Easy to do. So to book a recurring appointment, you do have to have at least one appointment already scheduled for a patient. So let's take my patient here at 2:30 with Susan. Derek, if he wants to book this, and I can do this either before I take payment, after I take payment, but when you select the appointment, you'll have these book recurring appointments arrows. So when we select this, Jane here defaults to this appointment's on Wednesday, but you can look for any other days of the week. You can set a time frame. Now, the max you can book out for is going to be 1 year. So you're not able to book 5 years in advance. You can only book out for a year. We'll just go ahead and make a selection here. And then the frequency. So whether it's every day or every week, every 2 weeks, and Jane's going to let you know. And these times that are shown here are based on your shifts on your schedule. So likely in our demo site here, come October, these staff members don't have shifts, so they're not showing as available. But your shifts are going to be determining when time is offered. If you have tags, one thing to note is if this appointment was booked and you overrode what tags those were applied to that, they'll show as unavailable as well. So just something to think of. If you have conflicts though, Jane is going to give you some alternate times to select from. So I can offer my patient another time. And even if there is some availability, but maybe on this particular day, if this patient wants a different time, you always have the option to book in a different time.
Awesome. Maybe I'll do a little shout out for our previous community live session where the very first one actually we went over tags. So if you're watching this in the Facebook recording, you can go to our guides and you'll be able to see our first recording there where we did a big deep dive on tags. Okay, that's my spiel there about going back to watch our last session. But I guess sticking here with our recurring appointments, let's say you've booked a whole slew of appointments into the future and you need to delete some now.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me we don't have to individually delete each one from our schedule. Is there a better
We
way to
do
do that?
not. There
Oh,
is,
thank
yeah. So
you.
essentially just the reverse. So you could head to the patient's appointment, hit this recurring appointments. This will bring up, I believe, all in this series that were booked, but if they have other ones that weren't booked all at once here, if you select the show all upcoming, all of this patient's upcoming appointments are going to be here, and I can delete all of them. So delete
All at
all
one go.
43 all at once. Yeah,
Awesome. That saves a lot of clicks.
does. Yeah.
Okay. I guess while we're in the schedule, booking appointments and all that good stuff, I'm going to throw a scenario at you. Let's say I've booked in an appointment, but I'm not coming. I can't make it, but I still want someone I know to be able to take that spot. Let's say my partner wants to come in for that massage. I can't. Is there a way to quickly change that up without having to delete and rebook everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So let's say my appointment tomorrow at 2:30 calls me. They can no longer make it. But their partner or friend is actually able to make this instead. So you don't actually need to cancel the appointment and go through that rebooking process. Instead, once you select it, you'll have the edit pencil here to do a couple of things actually. You could change the patient. So you'll have change patient or change client, and I can change this to somebody else here. Or if another scenario is if you booked in for the wrong type of treatment. So instead of maybe a 30-minute appointment, this patient maybe should have been booked in for a 60, or maybe at the last minute they decided to change this to a 60-minute appointment and you have time for that. We don't have to, again, cancel that and rebook it. If you select that pencil, you'll have the option to change the type of treatment this is for.
Awesome. And I think you can do that from the client profile too if you're already in there.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yep. So on the client file, handy place, their appointments tab,
Same thing.
same
Cool.
thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I think I have one last question. We spent a lot of time in the schedule. It seems like there are like favorite answers to give out today. Let's say the clinic has expanded their hours of operation. but they're not able to book past the initial maybe 6 p.m. that Jane accounts start at. How would you change the hours of operation so that you can book
Hmm.
appointments a little bit later?
Yeah, great question. So this happens either if you, as Jack said, if you maybe change your availability, or if you're new and you're just setting up your shifts and you realize you can't. I believe when somebody signs up, it defaults to 6 p.m. as the latest that you can book for, or even in the reverse in the morning if you open at 6, anything like that, and you can't extend your shifts to this. You're going to want to change your opening or your closing time. So to do that, you're going to head to your settings tab, and here in your schedule settings, you'll be able to change either your opening time or your closing time. By changing
Awesome.
these though, don't worry, it's not automatically going to open your online booking for those times, as most of us probably know, those are determined by the shifts on your schedule.
Awesome. Cool. Easy. As long as you know where to look, so that's perfect. All right. I think that's it for some of our most frequent questions. Um, we'll end it here today, and then we'll see everybody in a couple of weeks to go over some more questions. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.